Before we go deeper into today's content, just a quick reminder. If this lesson helps you improve your English or see your learning process more clearly, subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who might need it. That simple action helps this channel grow and allows us to keep creating meaningful, practical content like this. Now, let's talk honestly about fluency.
Many people believe fluency is something you either have or you don't. They imagine fluent speakers as confident, relaxed, and natural, while they see themselves as blocked, hesitant, and insecure. But fluency is not a personality trait. It's a skill built through repeated emotional experiences with the language.
And that emotional part is often ignored. People focus so much on grammar rules and vocabulary lists that they forget how emotions affect speech. When someone feels tense or afraid, their brain doesn't work the same way. That's why a learner can understand English very well, but still struggle to speak. The problem is not knowledge. The problem is emotional pressure.
Exactly. Fluency breaks down when fear enters the conversation. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding strange, fear of being judged or misunderstood. When fear appears, the body reacts. Breathing changes, muscles tighten, the brain shifts into protection mode. In that state, accessing language becomes harder.
This is why confidence matters more than perfect English.
Many learners wait for confidence before they speak. They think, when I feel confident, then I'll talk. But confidence doesn't come first. Speaking comes first. Confidence is built after repeated exposure, not before it. Every fluent speaker you admire once felt uncomfortable. They didn't magically become confident. They practiced while feeling insecure.
And this is important for learners to understand. Confidence is not the absence of mistakes. Confidence is the willingness to continue despite mistakes. Mistakes are not interruptions in the learning process. They are the learning process. When learners avoid mistakes, they also avoid progress.
Another big misunderstanding is the idea that fluency means speaking fast. Many learners try to speak quickly to sound fluent, but speed without clarity creates confusion. Fluent speakers don't rush, they pause, they reformulate sentences, they use simple words, they adapt. Fluency is flow, not speed.
Yes, and flow comes from comfort, not from pressure. When you stop trying to impress and start trying to communicate, your English improves naturally. Think about how children learn languages. They don't worry about correctness. They focus on being understood. That freedom creates rapid progress.
Adults often lose that freedom because they judge themselves too harshly. They think every sentence must be correct, every word must be perfect. That mindset creates silence. Silence is the biggest enemy of fluency.
Another factor that affects confidence is self-talk. What you say to yourself about your English shapes how you speak. If your internal voice says, "My English is bad," your body reacts with tension. If your internal voice says, "I'm learning," your body relaxes. That difference matters.
Language learning is not just external practice, it's internal permission. Permission to sound imperfect, permission to take time, permission to learn publicly. When learners give themselves that permission, confidence grows naturally.
It's also important to talk about comparison. Many learners compare themselves to native speakers or to other learners who seem more fluent. This comparison creates unrealistic expectations. You don't see their learning history. You don't see their mistakes. You only see the result. Confidence collapses when you measure your beginning against someone else's middle.
Progress should be measured against yourself. Can you say more today than last month? Do you pause less? Do you recover faster when you forget a word? Those are signs of fluency developing.
Another issue is overthinking. Learners often try to build sentences mentally before speaking. They translate, they analyze grammar, they predict reactions. By the time they're ready, the moment has passed.
Fluent speakers think while speaking, not before.
That's why practice should focus on real-time expression, short sentences, simple ideas, natural rhythm. Complexity comes later.
Confidence grows when English stops feeling like a performance and starts feeling like a tool. You don't perform your native language, you use it. That same mindset is possible in English, but it requires patience and repeated exposure.
One important emotional shift is accepting silence. Pauses are not failure. Pauses are thinking time. Fluent speakers pause all the time. They just don't panic during pauses. Learners panic, and panic blocks language.
So, confidence is not about never stopping, it's about staying calm when you do stop. If you forget a word, you can explain it differently. You can use gestures. You can simplify. Communication has many paths.
And every time you successfully communicate despite a difficulty, your brain learns resilience. That resilience becomes confidence over time.
Fluency grows quietly. You don't always notice it happening. One day you realize you're less tense. You recover faster from mistakes. You speak longer without planning. Those are real victories.
And they come from consistent exposure, not from pressure. Confidence is built by doing the uncomfortable thing repeatedly until it becomes familiar.
That familiarity is the foundation of fluency. In the next part, we'll focus on concrete habits that help transform insecurity into confidence and how daily practice can make speaking English feel natural instead of stressful.
When we talk about fluency and confidence, it's important to understand that progress doesn't come from motivation alone. Motivation is unstable. Some days you feel excited to practice. Other days you feel tired, distracted, or discouraged.
That's why fluency is built through systems, not feelings. A system is something that supports you even on low energy days. It doesn't require inspiration. It only requires consistency.
Many learners say, I practice when I feel motivated, but motivation is unpredictable. If fluency depended on motivation, very few people would ever become fluent.
Instead, confident speakers usually have simple routines that remove decision-making. They don't ask themselves every day whether they should practice. Practice is already part of their day.
This doesn't mean long study sessions. In fact, long sessions often create resistance. Short, regular exposure is far more effective. 5 to 10 minutes of speaking every day is better than one long session once a week. Fluency is trained through frequency, not intensity.
And speaking practice doesn't require another person. Many learners think they need conversation partners all the time, but that's not realistic. You can practice speaking alone. Talking to yourself is not strange. It's one of the most powerful fluency tools available.
Exactly. When you speak alone, there is no judgment, no pressure, no interruption. You can describe your day, your thoughts, or your plans. You can explain how you feel. You can even repeat the same ideas using different words. This builds automaticity. Automaticity is the ability to speak without conscious effort.
Automaticity is what people often confuse with talent. They hear someone speaking naturally and think that person has a gift. In reality, that person has practiced enough for the language to become automatic.
Another important habit is learning to simplify. Many learners believe they need advanced vocabulary to sound fluent, but fluent speakers often use simple words very effectively. Instead of searching for a complex word and freezing, confident speakers use what they already know. Simple English spoken clearly is powerful.
And simplicity reduces fear. When you try to sound advanced, you create pressure. When you aim for clarity, you relax. Relaxation improves fluency more than vocabulary size.
Confidence also grows when learners stop correcting themselves excessively while speaking. Self-correction has a place, but constant correction interrupts flow. It's better to finish a sentence with small mistakes than to stop mid-sentence and lose confidence.
Fluency is like driving. At first, you think about every movement. Over time, actions become automatic. If you stop the car every time you make a small error, you never reach your destination.
Another key point is emotional exposure. Many learners avoid speaking situations that make them nervous. They wait until they feel ready. But readiness doesn't appear without exposure. Confidence grows inside discomfort, not outside it.
That doesn't mean forcing yourself into extreme situations. It means controlled exposure, small challenges, low-risk environments, gradual increase. For example, sending a short voice message instead of writing, speaking in a small group before speaking in a large one.
Each small exposure teaches your nervous system that speaking English is not dangerous. Your body learns safety through repetition.
And when your body feels safe, your mind becomes flexible. Words come more easily, ideas flow. That's when fluency starts to feel natural.
Another aspect of confidence is accepting your accent. Accent is not a problem. Unclear pronunciation is a problem, but accent is simply identity. Trying to erase your accent often creates tension. That tension affects fluency.
Clear communication matters more than native-like pronunciation. Many fluent speakers have strong accents. They speak confidently because they focus on message, not perfection.
Confidence also improves when learners practice listening with intention. Listening trains your internal rhythm. It teaches your brain how English sounds naturally.
But passive listening alone is not enough. Active listening makes a difference.
Active listening means noticing phrases, intonation, and structure, not translating every word, but observing patterns. Over time, those patterns appear naturally in your speech.
Another habit that supports fluency is repetition. Repeating the same content multiple times may feel boring, but repetition creates familiarity. Familiarity creates confidence. When something feels familiar, fear decreases.
That's why listening to the same podcast episode multiple times is effective. Each time, your brain understands more with less effort. Less effort means more fluency.
It's also important to manage expectations. Fluency doesn't arrive suddenly. It develops gradually. There will be days when you feel progress and days when you feel stuck again. That doesn't mean you are failing. It means learning is not linear.
Confidence grows when learners stop expecting constant improvement and start accepting fluctuation. Some days are strong, some days are weak. Both are normal.
Another reason people lose confidence is negative self-evaluation. They focus only on what went wrong. They ignore what went right. After a conversation, instead of thinking, "I made many mistakes," try asking, "What did I communicate successfully?"
That shift is powerful. Confidence is built by recognizing effort, not only results.
Fluency also improves when learners connect English to their real life. If English exists only in textbooks, it feels artificial. When English becomes a tool for expressing real thoughts, it becomes meaningful. Meaning increases motivation.
That's why talking about your own experiences is more effective than repeating random sentences. Personal language sticks.
Confidence also comes from patience with silence. If you forget a word, pause, breathe, rephrase. Silence is part of communication. It doesn't mean failure.
Fluent speakers don't fear silence. They use it. That calm attitude signals confidence.
Another important habit is accepting that mistakes are visible, and that's okay. Most people are focused on their own thoughts, not on judging your English. Fear exaggerates attention.
And even when mistakes are noticed, they rarely matter. Communication is forgiving.
Fluency is built when you stop treating English as a test and start treating it as a conversation. Tests create pressure. Conversations create connection.
And connection reduces fear. Fear reduction is the foundation of confidence.
If you want one simple mindset shift to remember, it's this. You don't become confident by avoiding mistakes. You become confident by surviving them.
Every mistake you survive without giving up strengthens your confidence. That's real progress.
Over time, English stops feeling like something external. It becomes part of you. That's fluency.